Hey guys, it's our stream. David Zadov is with me. My name is Kirill Zadov. We're going to talk today about, today is March 26th, by the way, 2025. And we're going to talk about leak on a Signal Messenger of very sensitive information that all media are crazy about right now, and Democratic Party is crazy about that. It's very big thing. There's a joker in their hand right now. They want to fire our national security advisor to president now because he took responsibility for that. David, I'm going to let you talk now, please. Your take on this. What we're going to take out of the story?
First of all, there are a lot of implications from this. First of all, it shows that they committed a crime because the text messages were set to delete within a week. And according to the government, text messages which contain classified information or information about war plans or anything like that need to be treated as records and preserved forever. That, and also, it's just really irresponsible to use a text message platform in the first place to communicate war plans or to make any plans about the government in general is just irresponsible and stupid, for lack of a better word. That, and there's also an issue with not only were they not being responsible with how they were communicating, they were being irresponsible with who they were including in the group chat, because obviously, it got leaked by the Atlantic editor. And I think it's very funny that of all people, of all editors even, it was a journalist from the Atlantic. I think that's very funny because, the Atlantic is very pro-left. Then it's like, hindsight is 2020, but come on, these are the same people who were complaining about Hillary Clinton's emails, even though there was nothing of interest in there. And then, we have this. We had Pete Hegseth himself about 8 years ago saying that Hillary Clinton's irresponsibility should make her unelectable. It should make her not fit for the position. So you have that hypocrisy, right? But I want to hear your take on this, because
Okay.
I heard you say that
Let me start
over
with
exaggerated, right? Yeah.
Let me answer first some of things that you said in order to have discussion proper. First is the fact that Signal as a messenger was used by officials in Biden administration as well, and it was approved for talks inside the government. So that was a messenger that was used in Biden administration. That was also said on the hearing that were already conducted yesterday and day before yesterday. So the fact that they were using Signal Messenger for some information, it was not the disobedience of the protocol, because it was already it was lawful. The fact of using Signal for government activities. First, second, if you're saying that auto-deleting messenger and that messenger that had double encryption and self-deleting destroyed conversations by automation, by default setup of that messenger. So if any information that you think concerning the war is, according to law, supposed to be preserved as a record, should be preserved, then even in Biden administration, they wouldn't be allowed to use that for government activities, because then they gotta have a protocol that said this particular messages you can send on Signal, those particular messages you cannot send on Signal. You understand what I'm saying?
First of all, they do have, regardless of what the default setup is, messages of that nature need to be preserved permanently. So you have to be responsible to that extent.
How do we know that? I'm just not sure about validity of that statement. We hear that in Congress.
I don't have the law. I don't have a document, but there's the law.
I heard that some of Congress people were saying that during hearing, but I never heard that the messengers in the messenger services should be conserved, preserved, and kept on file.
Because they are records.
Okay, so they were part of. There should be become permanent records. Probably right. Okay, So
Okay.
then they
So
could not have discussed that in the principle on the public, or not on the public, on the messenger that they have. But the messenger was like approved for use in government activities. They were using it, Signal. It was nothing new. It was done in the previous administration as well. Okay. Second of
okay,
all,
can I?
there's a no.
We're
Let me finish all these things, and then you. Now, whatever with your argument that the case is identical to Hillary Clinton using her personal emails and personal computer for government activities by emails, that is against protocol, because you cannot use emails on your private computer, use government service email, and email is much more than messenger service in this regard. It's different in the sense that email, first, a computer can be hacked. It's not self-deleting. There's a lot of things that make email communication different from message on the telephone, on messenger service and telephone communication. And also, you cannot, as a government official, use your home computer for government emails. That itself, that act is against protocol.
dead.
So comparison is not valid. I'm saying that's only
Right. Sure. Okay. So first, let me respond to this. They were using Pete Hegseth and Rubio and everyone else in the GC was using their home personal numbers, okay, on their home phones. Phones can be hacked too. Phones are computers. Phones can be hacked a lot, much more easier than you think. So to say that it is a greater risk that email works so much differently, no. Everything is susceptible to hacking. Now, when we look at the signal messages and compare them between what was in the Biden administration and what is in this group chat between these top-ranking officials in the Trump administration, is that these they planned the whole thing in the group chat. Like, they detailed the whole thing. Not only did they detail the whole plan to bomb Yemen, they detailed the political aspects of it. They detailed like classified names of CIA operatives, right? And all that while being irresponsible with who they let in the group chat.
Yeah, but the group chat was complete people. The only problem was that the person that was not supposed to be in this chat was added to this chat. To this, I have to tell you that. Obviously, there was big mistake was made.
Yes.
And the thing is, the problem is like that. It's a multi-layer problem. The first level of this problem, for me, that's what I'm taking away from this, is that when you think in government activities, especially when it considers military or something like very important for security communication, the matter of national interest, matter of national security, I mean, then you cannot, you gotta have a layers of bureaucracy. It's not there is a reason you have a situation room in the White House when you can meet and discuss it not electronically but face to face certain very important matters of national security. So probably those conversations with that kind of officials about real actions in real time should be done in situation room. It's a first. But if you have to, because it's very big, enormous workload on this administration right now, and there's a lot of it's multiple crisis field right now. It's simultaneous, a lot of things happening at the same time. So I understand that they need some kind of electronic means of communication, but the fact that National Security Advisor himself creating the chat and adding people manually to this chat is crazy. That cannot happen. You gotta have at least secretary who's doing the thing and not stressed doing other things and answering other questions at the same moment and doing whatever, who knows what else, because you have multiple very complex fields right now. You have Russia, Ukraine, you have United States, China, you have Yemen, you have Israel, Gaza. You have a lot of matters of national security right now at the American table of National Security Council. So the one person, National Security Advisor, who's responsible for all of that, cannot be manually adding people to the chat. So there got to be layers after layers of bureaucracy, like foolproof. You got to have a person who is responsible for technical details. It cannot be National Security Advisor. So that, I think, the most It's the biggest problem in this particular case. I'm trying to leave out the scope of our discussion. Could they discuss that matter on a Signal Messenger? Probably that was the only available tool for them because people were located in different. Steve Witkoff, for example, probably was in Middle East at that particular time, right? Marco Rubio, who knows where is Marco Rubio? He got also very pressing agenda right now. So J.D. Vance is undisclosed location because he's vice president. He cannot be seen constantly, and nobody's supposed to know where he is right now. So there's a certain things that make very possible using of some messenger service for discussing that. So the biggest mistake is to include some person who's not supposed to be on the chat in the chat. But they needed some kind of a secure mobile tool like a messenger service to discuss, because people are in different locations and they cannot be all gathered in a situation room. That I see is the biggest problem right now.
Yeah, I think, well, yeah, no notes. That's basically it. I think if we can recognize that it was irresponsible, he made a big mistake, and also what he was discussing, it was pretty funny because one of the messages was like, "Oh, if we get leaked, it's over." But you know, it's irresponsible. If we can recognize that, then we can move forward and figure out a better way to communicate, and due process should be brought upon whoever contributed to that, right?
So you're saying, what you're saying? You're saying national security advisor should resign?
Not really. I think I don't think they should resign, but I do think they should face some sort of punishment for it.
Right, but that's what Trump said, by the way. He said, I learned my lessons, and Trump said he learned his lessons. He took responsibility.
Trump did not take responsibility. The first thing he said
Mike Waltz took responsibility.
Oh,
Trump confirmed that he took responsibility, that nobody else could do it.
Okay. Right. I thought you said Trump took responsibility because the first thing he said was like,
no.
I don't know. I've never heard of this. You're telling me the first time about it. I hate the Atlantic. The Atlantic sucks.
Sucks. By the way, I'm very frustrated why they're attacking him so much. Now, I know there's a history before, but when you have a problem, it's not his fault he was included in the chat. And he couldn't even believe till they started strikes that he's really in the chat. I mean, that's understood. Yeah. But still, listen, that's not he didn't want to be in the chat in the first place. How his number got into contact list of Mike Waltz, I don't understand at all. Probably some mistake. I saw a segment of the interview Mike Waltz was given yesterday on some channel, and said interviewer was asking him about that, and he said, "Did you ever add to chat a wrong person ever by mistake? Sometimes it happens." So that's a problem. You should not be making the chat by yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, this is crazy. But the thing is that obviously something should happen that cannot be happening in the future. Should some certain measures be taken that is not happening, but they should stop already making like everything this is crazy catastrophe. Thanks God it was only one person happened to be editor-in-chief of Atlantis. That is not like a enemy side. He's not reporting that, to Houthis before strike, and nothing happened really. What happened really is it's not even a leak. It's a breach of let's say, security protocol. No. Accident. So it's an accident. It's a very unfortunate accident. Thanks God, nothing happened to them. But now they have enormous pressure. I think the pressure should subside. It's kind of crazy.
To end, I think there is something to be said about like the, again, irresponsibility, not irresponsibility in terms of the messaging itself, but as a response to the situation coming out. Everyone besides Waltz said that it wasn't true. It didn't happen. They don't know what you're talking. Like, we don't know what you're talking about. Every single person except for Waltz. So, there's that as well to consider.
It's American political culture. It's not my responsibility. I don't know. It's my first thing, you cover your ass. It's not my responsibility. You know what it is?
Yeah.
It's not me. I'm not responsible. I'm not the one responsible. That's answer. Listen, we need to have a layers of bureaucrats. That's an illustration. This is a case of illustration. It cannot be just one person and that's it. There's no more levels beneath.
Well, I
Should be-
mean, you've got Doge, which is like 20 teenagers trying to dismantle whole bureaucracy of the government. So
That's what
do
I'm
some
saying.
Inward looking, like we have to.
Yeah, Doge. We got to look now
Yeah.
into Doge and what Doge is doing. We have to understand that it might dismantle, by the way of doing that, they might dismantle the American government. That's the thing. The government is not one person. The government is
Millions of
bureaucrats.
people.
Yeah. Thank you, David. It's a pleasure talking to you, as always.
Thank you.
We're going to continue. And guys, come back to us next week. We have more pressing issue to discuss. Thank you very much.
Bye.